All right, you guys can go when you're ready.
Alright, so our presentation is about lookism, and the basic definition of this is the construction of a standard for beauty and attractiveness and judgments made about people on the basis of how well or poorly they meet the standard.
So going more into that, it talks about how someone's looks is the first connection you have with that person. And at first, it is inevitable to not use their looks as a contributing factor of how you construct your opinion of them. And though we wish that most of us would get past the first interaction of judgment, studies have shown this is not the case. The University of Florida and George Washington University supports the concept that humans have the subconscious instincts to judge someone by his or her physical features, and this stereotype has a tendency to make the assumption that people who are physically attractive possess other socially desirable personality traits, and they tend to have a higher social ranking, which we automatically assume that those who are attractive are powerful.
So playing in with the reason and emotion, with the reason is how your physical appearances contribute to your capabilities at work, and then with your emotion is that whatever, what you tend to believe that what is beautiful is also good, and okay.
Reason and emotion are two ways of knowing that are used when constructing knowledge based on someone's physical attributes.
So for our real life situations, there's a situation in Abercrombie & Fitch with Samantha Iloff, and I'll go into more detail about this later, but she was qualified and hired to be a model there, but she would refuse to take off her hijab, because it was part of her religion, and so for that reason she wasn't actually given the job. And also we'll be focusing on anorexia and bulimia and how those are affected by the media. So mainly focusing on the beauty biases regarding workplaces and influences in the media.
In our knowledge question, how can implanted cultural images alter a person's sense, perception, and emotion when considering another individual's worthiness?
So for our first claim, we'll be focusing on the reason part of it, and people form connotations for particular appearances and use them as a basis of reasoning, and by taking in the first thing that comes to the eye, people make assumptions, usually lessening or highering the actual value of that individual, and therefore leading to false expectations. So with Samantha Iloff, she was 17 and she had all the qualifications, and the only reason why she didn't get it is because she would refuse to take off her headpiece, and this ended up in Abercrombie & Fitch having to settle a lawsuit paying what seemed to be like a total of $40 million to women who claimed that Abercrombie & Fitch had discriminated against the blacks, Hispanics, and Asian people that had applied.
And forms of reason that people may use are the halo effect, which is the tendency to believe in the nature of a person, good or bad, based on general traits of people, and the attribution theory, which is the tendency for people to attribute others' actions to internal traits as opposed to external circumstances.
So, well, that says in the workplace, but okay. And so there's a big problem with the tall versus short in America, and usually when we think of a tall person, we have connotations of power and capabilities to boss other people around. And a 2004 study by psychologist Timothy Judge was that for every inch taller a man was than his other equally paying equally as well worker, he made an extra $789 per year, and that means that for every inch there was it was 30% higher pay for every inch that he was higher than his coworker. And that means that two equally skilled but unequally tall could have up to a 5,000 year difference pay on average. And why is this? Because being tall has a connotation of being strong, powerful, and confident. Hence why tall males seem to be bosses and leaders of companies. And there's a great example of this. The last time a president was under the average height, which is 5'10", was in 1896, and that was William McKinley. And then also to deal with women's makeup, it's not so much of physical means, but more of like personal means, and mainly the effects of the woman's status and salary if you choose to wear makeup or not, and if wearing a proper amount, she's perceived by most as organized and confident because she gives the time to herself to look nice and presentable, versus people who would think someone who isn't wearing makeup just doesn't care about what they look like. And the American Economic Review revealed that a woman who wore makeup on average would earn up to 30% more than a woman who didn't. And the ability to wear makeup has no effect on the woman's quality of work. So these both go into our knowledge question of how society has implanted cultural images that can alter an individual's worth. And with the salary of the physical appearances, just because that they're physically different, it doesn't mean that they are capably different in the way that they can work. And then also with the women's makeup, just because what they choose and their preferences doesn't mean that they have different capabilities in what they're able to do.
So like going into stereotypes, people may like make with particular appearances. So like that's like a Muslim man, and like people might make a generalization that he would be a terrorist if they first saw them. And this white older male, like a bigot, or he's like ignorant, and a black male as been to jail. But these individuals could be anything but these words, but hasty generalizations are made because of instilled societal images and basic connotations with these images. And these people, this man could be an important contributor to society. This one could be very accepting of new ideals, and the one at the end could be a very reliable citizen.
And then like also if these were sent into a company they're applying for a job, like the headshots, there's also many who like just discard the picture just because of base of what they look like and don't even like pay attention to what is actually said in the resumes.
So our claim 2 is society's ideal body standards cause devaluation of an individual because the standards set a focus onto one's visual appearance instead of their other attributes. And so through the media, beautiful is considered worthy, giving the world eye view a false perception of the importance of looks. So this is just like a picture of Victoria's Secret angels, and just kind of like how women should be. And a male one too. Society's implanted images cause standards to be set too high, which are unattainable for the average person. People use their feelings regarding one attribute of an individual to analyze unrelated attributes, which goes back to that attribution thing that I was talking about before. And like example is correlating someone's looks with their other abilities, and therefore often putting a downplay on their underlying capabilities and giving them a disadvantage to a better looking individual. Often in jobs, looks might distract an employer from hiring someone who is actually more capable for the job, because they could possibly put someone who is better looking on a higher pedestal and ignoring their underlying qualities, or at least making them those qualities less important than they should be.
And then going into a second real life situation of the bulimia and anorexia, with those models that we showed before, they're like known as like the 1%, and it's where they like nobody else really looks like them, so that's why it's so hard to find like those models to be. And that also puts pressure on the citizens who see that every single day and think that that's the right image of where you're supposed to be. But when in reality, those models have a hard time fitting into that themselves. So that's what it can lead to these disorders.
Yeah, so like in society, there's like obviously an oversimplification of like what beauty is in magazines and TVs and on social media. And this has caused people to reach towards this standard of beauty of like the models, and by unhealthy ways such as eating disorders like anorexia and bulimia. Society's standard has put an overemphasis on the importance of being beautiful and how beautiful equals successful. And we looked up an article, and it explained in the article the impact of media on eating disorders in children and adolescents have suggested that the incidence of eating disorders among adolescent girls has increased over the last 50 years, and that just shows like the involvement of like social media and phones, like how much you see the images over and over again every single day, and they just think it causes like teenagers to like feel bad about their body image and cause them to have the eating disorders. And on average, a child or teen watches up to 5 hours of TV a day and spends 6 to 7 hours on social media combined. So that just like goes back to the fact how much time that they see those images in over and over again.
So going into our counterclaim is how an individual chooses to portray themselves is how the world interprets their looks. So with these examples like tattoos, piercings, hair dyes, clothing, again, it goes into that makeup thing with how they choose to present themselves and what their interests are. So that can also like be emotionally like stabilizing for them. So saying they can fit into a certain genre of like descriptions for people, and then
So that's like their choice, obviously, to
yeah.
have those things, and they can like understand that their circumstances do that. 'Cause
So like what they give out is what people are gonna take in and like say that like, so this man for example, like he obviously looks like goth, that's what like people might perceive him as, and then, but that's the way that he wants to portray himself, so that's how people see him that way.
And a like explanation more into that, it is justifiable to mildly judge someone on their appearance because it is that individual's choice to portray themselves to the world that way, giving them an idea of what they like and are interested in.
A different take on that could be if someone is too overweight, for example, and can't move from place to place as fast as they need, they can have trouble finding a job. And then, so like when an employer puts this into consideration, it's not judgment of a person, it's just an acceptable reason, because there was an example of this man who had a lawsuit against McDonald's because he was not hired, well he like wasn't hired because he was too big, but they didn't say it because he was too big, because he wouldn't fit to work there, but it's because he couldn't do the things that he needed to do to qualify for that job.
And that's like acceptable because he obviously like he couldn't meet the standards of the job, but like the company went about it wrong and like didn't approach him like explaining the situation, so that was like the wrong way to go about it.
So like overall there's two different outtakes on how you want the world to see you and like how capable you are of doing something if you have physical restrictions.
And judgments may be taken too far. So on average, obese women are paid $8,660 less per year, and men $4,772 less per year compared to normal wage workers. So that just shows like the what's happening in workplaces, like how important like your physical appearance is to getting the job. So, in conclusion, we can see the growing uses of appearances as a basis of judgment to determine individuals' worthiness. This form of racism impacts individuals affecting important aspects of their lives, though at times it is acceptable if used with educated reasoning under dire circumstances. As a whole, it is not acceptable, and from this, we need to become aware of our inclination. So basically, like, when you just see somebody, you like judge them, but we just kind of need to like realize that we are doing that and like take into consideration other aspects of that individual, to judge others and construct a clear picture of who they truly are and from there then determine their worthiness, not just on what their looks, just more on the like qualifications for the actual job.
So this quote from Raymond Torres is, "Every person and moment of experience comes with its own history. With this perspective in mind, we'll avoid asserting false conclusions about a person's character." And this quote is valid regarding this argument because that everyone has their own story, and one's appearances doesn't accurately portray one's true self or what they have to overcome in their life. And we all are guilty of this, and like sometimes because you can just see somebody and then you notice like something about them and you automatically assume something, but you know it can be like 100% false about them, and it just seems to be like a natural instinct, but like you just have to think of when you're doing it that most likely someone's doing it to you as well, and how would you feel like if that was yourself. You have to think about how you're doing it to others.
So if we realize this like is a problem in society, then we can like move forward and like this new form of discrimination can be dropped to like a lower level.
Good.
Yeah.
All right, thank you guys.
Our citations are a different thing that we'll share with you.
What's that?
We have our citations on a different thing we can share.
What's that?
Yeah.
All right, thank you, Monica.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, good guy, thank you.
Paste it from like the actual slide.
No, I was trying, I was like, we get like from that, like.
All right.
I was like, I don't know.
How long did that,
That's
that?
like one of my
15.
What? That's not bad.
I wasn't, I would have had one bad, like, because something actually happened with me, like, in real life, like, are you allowed to do, like, because I didn't know if you could, so I didn't say.
Yeah, no, they encourage that. They encourage personal connection to things.
Really?
Mhm.
Well, can I tell my story